This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
Welcome to INCRadio South Central States Satellite Studio. We thank you so much for being with us here this morning. It's a chilly morning here. I'm joined here by my guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Linnea Darrett. I'm from Dallas, Fort Worth. Thank you for having me on the South Central States satellite radio station.
Awesome. And also joining us, she likes to travel. She's our globetrotter here. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, it's Arnie coming to you all the way from California. Thank you all for joining this morning.
All right, now today's topic, we are going to discuss comic books. We're going to discuss superheroes, superpowers, and everything that we, kind of enjoy and we like about them. So before we get started, though, we're going to go ahead and drop the question of the day, which is, what is your favorite comic book? Why? So tell us about, maybe some plot aspects that you like. You can tell us about some of the superpowers maybe that you like. We'll have a discussion today and read out your comments, like how you see in this bubble here, and new little feature, state-of-the-art thing that we got here. But I guess we'll just go ahead and dive into it. When it comes to like comic book, we're basically talking about storytelling, right? And so like the best comic books, even though you have these heroes that have powers, right? In the end, it's them grappling with the responsibility of having these types of powers. So, I just want to maybe get from my guests, like, what comic books do you like? Like, for me, it's the ones where, it's not just like they're just wielding their powers and how awesome they are, but like how they deal with things emotionally and psychologically. So let me go to you first. What kind of stories and comics do you like?
So, in all fairness, I don't read many comics, like traditional American comics, but I would love to get into them because I love books. But a character that I really enjoy is Batman.
Right.
Batman. Not only is he awesome and cool and brooding, but I love how Batman tackles his humanity. I think the best comic characters tackle with humanity in a fascinating way, like Spider-Man, right? His whole shtick is being the neighborhood-friendly Spider-Man. But his whole ordeal is dealing with his he can never move forward in his life almost because he can balance being Peter Parker.
His work-life balance.
Exactly. I love that aspect. Like, it's cool, of course, the fight scenes and the suits and the gadgets and the cool villains, but like how they deal with being a normal person on the side, strangely makes them relatable.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of, I would say that Batman would have to be my favorite, and a lot of his dealing with like trauma. His story is basically of childhood trauma that carries on into adulthood. Let's go over to Arnie though. What types of stories, heroes, whatnot that you like?
Okay, don't laugh at me because I'm not your typical Marvel or DC comic kind of person. When I was growing up, I was reading the Archie comic books, with Archie and Reggie and Veronica and Betty.
I've never read Archie. What is that one about? What is that one like?
So they're in high school. Archie's a main character. Reggie's like his nemesis, his rival, and they're always fighting for the same girl. They both like Veronica, but of course Betty likes Archie, but Archie likes Veronica, and Reggie likes Veronica. So it's just them in high school with all the regular high school drama.
Okay. Hey, actually, let's switch over to one of the comments that I see there from Jerry Hill. Can you go ahead and bring that one up? So he's agreeing from Biloxi. His favorite book is The Punisher. He loves vigilante justice for criminals. I think that's most comic books. Don't you think? Vigilante justice.
I think that's what everyone enjoys. Kind of on Arnie's point. I don't know if this counts as a comic book, but a comic that I really enjoy is Calvin and Hobbes. Is that what it is?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's one of my favorites.
Devious little boy. I kind of want to get that as a coffee table book because I love just reading those comics growing up, like a mischievous little kid and his stuffed tiger, just enjoy life.
But I guess his superpowers being manifest stuffed animals.
Yeah, it's so good. I love that. So thank you for just like little slice of life, posting comic recommendation. I'll maybe pick up Archie and try to read them.
And see, we got another one from Oliver Villanueva, the comic book. I grew up with different comic books in the Philippines. It was basically clones of the Western characters, like I think he meant Captain Marvel. So
Captain Marvel is a Filipino comic book character. And then there was someone else other than Captain Marvel. If you know in the please let us know.
That's
a Wonder Woman equivalent.
Yeah, that's really cool. I would like to see something like that. I do like learning about different cultures and seeing how they handle things differently, especially in the context of the Philippines, because a lot of comics are based on the American experience, talking about American comics and how they would relate to the character. Of course, in the Philippines, it's a completely different culture, it's a different history and everything, so that would shape their media.
I also really like how different comic book companies are highlighting different cultures. I think Marvel just released a Filipino superhero. I think it's like Tidal Wave. Please don't remember me in the comments if I'm wrong, but she's a Filipino superhero with like water-based powers, I believe. So I think that's pretty interesting, seeing how the Philippines is a archipelago. I also want to talk about a comic are there any comics that you might want to read, Nathan? Because one that I want to get into is called The Sandman. Have you ever heard of that?
Related to Spider-Man?
No, I think it's own it draws a lot from like different mythologies of different cultures, and it's basically about this I don't know, like a boogeyman type of character, but he's like a good guy, kind of an anti-hero almost. And he draws from like Greek mythology. I think in the comic his name is Orpheus. And then he interacts with different characters like Death, for example. So that actually just came out as a show, and I watched the show. I thought it was interesting. I'm like, I didn't realize it was a comic. So that's something I pick up.
I mean, I like history, and I've seen that they've adapted some historical events into comics. So that'd be something like I would like to read. I love history. We're talking about like superheroes and superpowers and whatnot, but if I'm going to be real with you, I really like the story of just like regular people. So I feel like regular people really do accomplish great things. And it's something that we can relate to because it's like, hey, we're just ordinary people too. We don't have any kind of power.
There is not a novel, I'm sorry, a comic, I think. And the name leaves me because I remember picking it up in high school. And it's about the Vietnamese American diaspora, if I remember correctly. And it's about, I think, an individual's journey leaving Vietnam during, the Vietnam American War.
Right.
And what was the struggles leaving and then being here in America post that. Very briefly, I remember just like my best friend is Vietnamese Asian, and or INCRadio, and she was reading it, and I was like, oh, that's very interesting. So I'm older, I might pick it up again and go in for that. So that would be. Do you have any recommendations?
Not off the top of my head. I don't read too many comic books, but I did want to kind of discuss. We have a comic here from Christian Ross, brother Christian Ross. He's one of our ministers here in Fort Worth. He says X-Men is one of my favorite comic books. Oh man, I remember in the 90s, X-Men was really big because they had the TV show, and that was one of the comic books that actually would actually buy the comic book and read it.
Speaking of X-Men, did you see they brought back the X-Men series from like the 90s or the 2000s, continued the art style?
I did see that. I have not seen it, but I'm aware. Yeah, that they did that. Yeah,
I thought that was really cool because we're so used to the movie franchise, but seeing like X-Men their traditional art style, like the bright colored suit.
Right.
I kind of want to pick it up because just for the nostalgia factor.
So we're actually going to come back to our conversation, talk about superpowers. I just want my guests to kind of maybe superpowers that they like in them. Maybe we can talk about the pros and cons of what they can do if they have a superpower. But let's go ahead and go to our thinking cap. So, cap question number 1. Of course, just drop your answer into the chat. Just drop the letter. And if you're new here, we have a winner every month, whoever has the highest score. So this superhero's name is Clark Kent, who has superhuman strength and the ability to fly. Who is it? Is it A, the Incredible Fellow? Is it B, Superb Sir? Is it C, Exceptional Gent? Or is it D, Superman? Drop your answer into the chat and we will reveal it at the end. This one should be easy. I'd be very disappointed if anyone got this one wrong. But go ahead and drop your answer into the chat. So let's talk about some of the superpowers. So like Superman, that's an excellent example. Great transition. The ability to fly. I think when most people are surveyed, like what superpower would they like to have, I think flight is the one that comes up the most based on my unscientific survey of what we usually put down. What about you? Would you like to be able to fly if you could?
I think it would depend because I think what really sucks about being in this time and age is you're so aware of social media and the comments. Actually, when movies or books or whatever come out, I try not to pick up or open videos about social media comments on them. Because then you'll get comments like, the physics of this does not make any sense. So like when I think about flying, I think maybe at a lower altitude would be really fun. But if you get high up there, maybe get cold or something.
Oh yeah, I think because you account for that. Of course, usually if they can fly, they have the same superpower to where they can still breathe at high altitude, or they'll react to UV light.
Same.
Yeah, because you're going to be really exposed if you're up there. And static electricity,
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, when planes fly through the air, they generate a lot of static electricity. So you can imagine if Superman, didn't defy all the laws of physics, like when you touch down, you get a nice little shock there. But yeah, what about you, Arnie? Have you ever? What are your thoughts on the superpower of being able to fly?
It's great because then now you could go anywhere you want without having to pay for airfare. But I figured if they could fly everywhere, that's included in their costume or their uniform. That it should, they're not going to freeze. Nothing's going to happen to them, right? That's why that's the power they have.
Yeah, but if you can just fly, like you might still strike a bird. Like bird strikes actually bring down aircraft.
Think about that too. Superpower that I would admire then, kind of to juxtapose that, would then be teleportation, right? Then you don't have to, deal with physics. You could just pop somewhere else.
One downside to that they don't show, or maybe they do show in comics, is that if you could fly or if you could teleport, just imagine all the people that will approach you asking to do errands for them.
You know, for a quick ride. Can you pop this over for me real quick? Thank you.
Oh, we got a comment here. Justice League, not Justin League, was definitely a favorite of mine as a kid. It was awesome to see all the different superpowers, especially when they came together. I believe that's a DC. By the way, we're not sponsored by any comic book company or vice versa. So just a friendly conversation. Let's see. Batman's superpower is wealth. Use it for the good of others. Batman is the only superhero who has no superpowers. That is true. Although maybe he has intellect, detective skills.
Yes, equivalent to more like Iron Man.
Yeah. Although he does kind of fly through the air, and I don't know, you were to jump off a tall building and land on your feet, that wouldn't be very comfortable or pleasant.
And the best part of some of those movies is watching how the tech come together to support the character.
Yeah. Well, when you brought up patient, what if you like teleported halfway into a wall? Like that wouldn't be good.
No, that would be very uncomfortable, I would imagine.
Arnie, what about you? What other superpowers do you like to see in comic books?
Maybe like the time traveling people, so that they can go back in time or go to the future. I think that's pretty cool and see how things are.
Being able to fly through time, another one. Although, if you went back in time, there's a good chance nobody speaks English.
Depending how far you go, or the English would be very hard to understand. I always think about Shakespearean English.
Right.
Like if I were there in the Elizabethan era, would I be able to make conversation?
Speaking of brother Matt, guy who's also a minister, he said a superpower that he would like to have is to speak every language. So
That's a good one.
we would have to combine some of these powers, right, to make it work. If you were to go back in time, like you would also need the ability to understand languages. It's not like a Disney movie where there's like leaves and magic and then all of a sudden everyone understands each other. Let's see. Melvi Tamayo, who's also a INCRadio host. I think she's Central Valley, so you could check them out also. She would like to fly as well to overcome her fear of heights. Do you have a fear of heights?
I do have a fear of heights, actually. It kind of keeps me from participating in like rock climbing or bouldering, but I really admire people who can overcome that.
Yeah, I had a fear of heights when I was younger. But my dad made me climb ladders and help him out
there you
and
go.
construct things. So I had to get over my fear of heights, the hard way. Let's see. We have Melanie, who, by the way, say hi to everyone. Everyone can't see you, but she's pushing buttons behind the computer.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning.
And you would like healing powers, like for yourself, like if you get hurt.
For my loved ones.
Oh, for your loved ones. Yeah, free healthcare for everybody. All right, what other? Let's see. Oh, your dad. Allergy Grit. He said super strength.
He's done.
Super strength would be pretty cool to have. Because you wouldn't have any problems moving things around. But again, people would ask you like, "Hey, can you move my furniture?"
That'd be great. Yeah, take this from here to there, please. Yes.
I like this one. Oh, this is my favorite one. We can end the show here. I love the power to eat as much as I want without gaining weight. LOL. Yeah, from Ian Kimberly. Yeah, that would be a really nice superpower, just to be able to eat and enjoy food, and none of that matters.
The superpower of super metabolism.
And I've always wondered, like, let's say you could fly, or if you could teleport, would that require calorie expenditure?
Yeah, I love when I watch great things and they kind of point out maybe like the setbacks, right? Like the Flash, for example, when he super running, he has to eat a lot because I love calories.
Yeah, we can appreciate that in comic books when they actually do think about like, the sort of physics and mechanics of making things possible. Yeah. So, we have any more comments we'd like to read out? Let's see. Oh, we got one from Freddie here. Fort Worth, you like to be able to time travel or the ability to stop time? That'd be kind of cool. We could time, but I always wondered, like, if you stop time, would you continue to age? Right? No one else.
Stop time for yourself as
Right. So I think that'd be kind of the downfall of that. Let's see. We have Roni Lee and Chete. Unlimited energy or adrenaline would be nice. Unlimited energy.
One of the things I talk with my friends, not we've graduated high school and college, is how much time it takes to do sleeping. For example, 8 hours out of your day. Imagine
Right.
like if you didn't have to sleep, how much more you could do throughout.
Yeah, I'm sure your employer would love that. That's
So-
Oliver Villanueva. And after this one, we'll go ahead, Arnie.
No, I was just saying, what about our second question? We're trying to give prizes away.
I was just about to say you're reading my mind. See, I have mind reading powers. Oliver, we'll go to that after this one. So he says, I like the superpowers of Spider-Man. I grew up with him. I tried to swing from roof to roof, and you would hear my mom's superpower shouting at me to go down from the tree and on the roof. So yeah.
Moms have superpowers in themselves.
Oh yeah.
Their lives. Yeah, mom is a superpower. So shout out to all our moms.
They can locate things. When you ask for things that are lost, for some reason they know exactly where it's at.
Exactly where it is.
All right, let's go to question number 2. And what a great transition. We didn't plan that, by the way. But in the Spider-Man universe, what is the name of the newspaper where Peter Parker works? Is it E, the Spider Times? Is it F, the Daily Bugle? Is it G, the Metro Tribune? Or is it H, the City Observer? Drop your answer down into the chat. You just have to put down the letter, and in a few minutes we'll reveal the answers, and I'll see if I'm disappointed in people's answers to the first one. Yeah. Let's go ahead and check our leaderboard, actually. Leaderboard. There we go. So this is the running score we have so far. And brother Oliver Villanueva, minister down there in I think Biloxi, Mississippi, leading with 4 points, not too far behind is our 3-pointers, brother Renz Diaz, and Johnny Collins. And my wife, I don't think you were able to participate in the questions. Okay, so not too far behind. We got a bunch of 2-pointers there. So remember, probably the best strategy for being able to win the prize is to tune in every week. So make sure you tune in. All right, let's go to more comments. We got more. Let's see. Fregie says her daughter, Francine, says she wants the power to read a person's mind. I thought about that, and then I was like, I don't think I really want to know what people are thinking.
I agree. I was thinking earlier today, maybe if it was selective, I only read Nate's mind right now, or in this moment, instead of hearing everyone's thoughts. I would imagine that's overwhelming.
Right.
And can we do comics books have to be limited to American ones? Because I guess for me, I didn't read a lot of American comic books growing up, but I read a lot of Japanese comic book manga.
Oh yeah. I think there might be some people who would push your glasses like that is not real comics, but no, we're wide open today because there are similarities between American comics and manga.
And I would also think there are a lot of differences as well, because I've always found that at least for my generation, I feel like they picked up manga a lot more often than regular comic books.
Mhm.
Yeah, I noticed that. I wonder what's the reason for that. But have you ever read any Japanese manga, Nate?
I did read a few, yeah. But a lot of times, the anime time. I'll just watch the anime. Actually, there was a few anime. They were older, and I was like, you know what? I really want to read the manga, but unfortunately, they don't reprint or preserve a lot of the older ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I want to take the last couple of minutes just to also, we talk a lot about movies and shows, but I'm a big proponent of analog things.
Mhm.
So if you haven't, then maybe add it to your New Year's resolutions and pick up a comic or pick up a manga, and you can enjoy it. There's nothing like holding a book, a paper, and be able to flip through something. I picked up a manga on my friend's shelf the other day, and sometimes it's easy to read online, like on your tablet or whatnot. But I picked it up and I got to enjoy a manga. Interesting. Because it's in Japanese.
Yeah.
Traditionally, you have to read it from right to left.
Yes.
So I got to, hold it in my hands for the first time in a while. So I want to promote, picking up like analog
Absolutely.
media and interacting with it because, it's so nice to hold something in your hands and appreciate the art.
Well, and like you said, it's art, and you can see that, in every single one of the panels, somebody really thought about everything they wanted to compose in it. Even the way they arrange, the panels, everything is taken into consideration. And stuff like that you don't get in a show. So I absolutely agree. And I have been one to like kind of turn my nose to manga at first. I'm like, why, whatever, read something like that.
I think that's normal.
Yeah, I mean, the older I get, though, the more I'm like really open to hey, let me check it out.
Yeah,
Never
just
know.
for fun. Yeah, it's thankfully comics and manga are short pieces of literature. So it doesn't take a lot of time or attention just to a moment of your day and go.
Right. Okay, so let's see. We are about to close out. We're down to our last 2 minutes. Any shout outs you'd like to give?
I want to give a shout out to my parents who were in the comments answering. My mom actually named the character that I was thinking of from the Philippines, Darna. So that's the Filipino Wonder Woman equivalent.
Oh, okay. Oh, that would be cool.
Fun fact for today.
Yeah, cool. All right. Arnie, any shout outs you'd like to give?
Nate, do you want to give them the answers so that they know who got right and who got it wrong?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Let's go to the first question. All right. What is the answer?
It would be Clark Kent's alter ego is D, Superman.
Yeah, Superman. I hope nobody got that wrong. All right, and question number 2. In the Spider-Man universe, what was the name of the newspaper?
And that would be F, the Daily Bugle, if I remember correctly.
Are correct. You are correct. So, hopefully you won. Be sure you tune in next week. Of course, we're going to have more thinking cap. We're going to have more topics. But I'm so glad you came on today.
Thank you for having me.
I really love your insights that you had
I appreciate
on comic books. So, yeah. All right. Arnie, go ahead and close us out with our final shout outs.
All right. I just want to say thank you, first of all, for everyone in South Central States for joining us. And then also for those folks from other parts of the world. I do see people here from Washington, D.C., from Brazil, and the Philippines. So thank you for joining us. And just like always, we always want to say thank you to our INC radio, INC radio, Brother Wally Taray over there in the Philippines. And then, of course, our SEPC president and CFO coordinator, Brother Angelo Eraño Manalo. And last but not least, our executive minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. So everyone, thank you for joining us. Have a great day. See you all next week.
This is INCRadio, DZEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.